Imagine a moment in history when two nations were destined to collide, a conflict that would shape the destiny of an entire region. I'm talking about the Mexican-American War, a crucial and often overlooked chapter in the history of the Americas. But what led to this war? What were its consequences? And how does it still resonate with us today? Let's explore all of this and much more in the next minutes. The Mexican-American War was a conflict between the United States and Mexico that occurred between 1846 and 1848. This period was marked not only by growing tensions and territorial disputes, but also by a multitude of expansionist ambitions that permeated throughout 19th century North America. Among these ambitions were the United States' desire to expand its territory westward to the Pacific Ocean, driven by the ideology of manifest destiny, which asserted the nation's inherent right to expand across the continent. Additionally, there were economic motivations, as the fertile lands of present-day California and the Southwest were seen as valuable resources for agricultural development and trade. Furthermore, there were political considerations, with the United States aiming to solidify its dominance over North America and establish itself as a leading power in the region. These expansionist ambitions collided with Mexico's own aspirations to maintain control over its vast territories and assert its sovereignty in the face of foreign encroachment. Mexico, having recently gained independence from Spain in 1821, sought to solidify its control over its territories, which included present-day Mexico, California, Texas, and other regions. However, internal political instability and economic challenges plagued the young nation, making it difficult to fully realize its ambitions. Mexico's political landscape was characterized by frequent changes in leadership, power struggles between competing factions, and a lack of cohesive governance. This instability hindered the government's ability to implement effective policies and maintain control over its territories. Additionally, economic challenges, including a reliance on outdated agricultural practices, unequal distribution of wealth, and dependence on foreign loans, further exacerbated Mexico's difficulties. The economy struggled to provide sufficient resources for infrastructure development and public services, exacerbating social tensions and contributing to widespread discontent among the population. These internal challenges weakened Mexico's ability to assert its sovereignty and defend its territories against external threats, setting the stage for conflict with the expanding United States. Despite these obstacles, Mexico remained determined to defend its territorial integrity and resist any attempts at annexation by foreign powers, particularly the United States. Thus, the stage was set for a conflict that would profoundly shape the future of both nations and the broader geopolitical landscape of the Americas. At that time, the border between the two countries was poorly defined, and many areas were claimed by both sides, especially Texas, which had declared independence from Mexico in 1836. The Declaration of Independence stemmed from tensions between the Texan settlers, predominantly American immigrants, and the Mexican government, which had recently abolished slavery and imposed centralist policies that clashed with the settlers' desire for local autonomy and the preservation of slavery. The Texan Revolution culminated in the Battle of the Alamo and the decisive victory at the Battle of San Jacinto, where Texan forces under Sam Houston captured Mexican General Santa Anna, leading to the establishment of the Republic of Texas. However, the Mexican government refused to recognize Texas's independence, considering it a rebellious province, which contributed to the ongoing border disputes and ultimately escalated tensions between Mexico and the United States. The Mexican-American War was fueled by the annexation of Texas by the US in 1845, a move that heightened tensions between the two nations. When the United States officially absorbed the region into its borders, it was viewed by Mexico as a direct challenge to its authority and a violation of its sovereignty over the region. This annexation triggered a series of armed clashes along the border and eventually escalated into full-scale war. In 1846, the war erupted with a pivotal moment along the border between the Rio Grande and the Nueces River. You see, tensions were already running high due to the annexation of Texas by the United States. But things came to a head when American troops, led by General Zachary Taylor, were ordered to occupy the disputed territory, claiming it as part of Texas, and thus the USA. However, Mexico vehemently disagreed, asserting that the true border lay farther north along the Nueces River, This disagreement escalated into a heated confrontation between American and Mexican forces, with shots fired and lives lost on both sides. The United States swiftly seized upon this skirmish as a pretext for war, officially declaring hostilities against Mexico and plunging both nations into a bloody and protracted conflict that would shape the course of history in North America. Over the course of the next 2 tumultuous years, fierce battles raged across diverse landscapes, from the arid plains of the Southwest to the fortified coastlines of the Pacific. The American forces, bolstered by their military might and strategic advantages, achieved significant victories, seizing control of pivotal territories like California and New Mexico. The United States held several advantages over Mexico, including a larger and better equipped military, advanced weaponry, superior logistical capabilities, and a more stable government capable of mobilizing resources efficiently. Additionally, the United States benefited from a well-developed infrastructure, such as railways and telegraph lines, which facilitated communication and transportation of troops and supplies across vast distances. During the mid-19th century, the United States had undergone significant industrialization, marked by advancements in manufacturing, transportation, and infrastructure. Industries such as textiles, steel, and machinery were thriving, fueled by innovations like the cotton gin and steam-powered machinery. In contrast, Mexico lagged behind in industrial development. While it had some mining and agricultural industries, Mexico's economy was primarily based on agriculture and relied heavily on manual labor and outdated techniques. The country lacked the infrastructure and technological advancements that had propelled the United States forward, which contributed to its overall economic and military disadvantage during the Mexican-American War. These factors, combined with strategic leadership and tactical prowess, allowed the American forces to outmaneuver and overpower their Mexican counterparts in many engagements throughout the war. Among these battles, one of the bloodiest and most violent was the Battle of Chapultepec. Fought in September 1847, this pivotal engagement saw intense fighting as American forces launched a relentless assault on the formidable Chapultepec Castle, a strategic stronghold overlooking Mexico City. The battle resulted in heavy casualties on both sides, with thousands of soldiers losing their lives in the brutal conflict. The loss of life extended beyond the battlefield, affecting civilian populations and indigenous communities caught in the crossfire. The Battle of Chapultepec stands as a grim reminder of the human cost of war and the sacrifices made in the pursuit of territorial expansion and geopolitical dominance. Ultimately, the curtains fell on this chapter of history with the signing of the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848. This pivotal agreement saw Mexico relinquishing vast swathes of its territory to the United States, reshaping the geopolitical landscape of North America. Indeed, the echoes of this war reverberate through time, leaving an indelible mark on the collective memory of both nations and shaping the contours of their shared history. This conflict represented a defining moment in American history, shaping the nation's trajectory and identity in significant ways. By acquiring vast territories in the Southwest, including present-day California, New Mexico, and Arizona, the United States cemented its status as a continental power and advanced its vision of manifest destiny. However, this territorial expansion also ignited fierce debates over the extension of slavery into these newly acquired lands, fueling tensions between the North and South that would eventually erupt into the Civil War. Additionally, the war's aftermath witnessed the emergence of a new era of American imperialism, as the nation grappled with the complexities of governing and integrating diverse populations into its expanding domain. For Mexico, the aftermath of the Mexican-American War was nothing short of devastating. The loss of vast territories, including California, New Mexico, and Arizona, dealt a severe blow to the nation's territorial integrity and sense of pride. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, signed under duress, not only forced Mexico to cede more than half of its territory to the United States, but also imposed harsh economic terms, including the relinquishment of claims to Texas. This loss of land not only diminished Mexico's geopolitical influence, but also exacerbated existing social and economic inequalities within the country. Furthermore, the war's legacy continues to shape Mexico's national identity and political landscape, serving as a constant reminder of the country's tumultuous history with its northern neighbor. Today, the scars of the Mexican-American War still resonate in Mexican society, underscoring the enduring complexities of national pride, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. The enduring legacy of this conflict is evident in the complex relationship between the United States and Mexico, which is characterized by intertwined histories, cultural exchanges, and economic interdependence. The war's aftermath has left an indelible mark on both nations, influencing their foreign policies, trade agreements, and immigration dynamics. Moreover, the border between the two countries, established in the wake of the war, remains a focal point of contention, conflicts, and cooperation, symbolizing both division and connection. Moreover, the Spanish language influence in the names of cities along the west coast of the United States is deeply intertwined with their history as former Mexican territories. During the Mexican colonial period, many of these regions were settled and administered by Spanish-speaking populations, leading to the establishment of towns and cities with Spanish names. When Mexico gained independence from Spain in the early 19th century, these territories became part of the Mexican nation, further solidifying their Spanish cultural heritage. Even after the Mexican-American War and the subsequent annexation of these territories by the United States, the Spanish influence persisted, reflected in the names of cities that continue to dot the landscape of the American West Coast. Thus, the Spanish language serves as a tangible link to the region's Mexican past, adding depth and richness to its cultural identity. Therefore, as we reflect on the Mexican-American War, we are reminded not only of the violence and tragedy it represented, but also of the importance of critically examining our collective past, recognizing its complexities and ramifications for the present and future. May this reflection inspire us to seek peace, understanding, and justice in all our relationships and interactions so that we may build a better world for future generations. Thanks for watching.